Hello students of class 9. This is your second chapter of class 9 syllabus. Okay, this is compound interest. Now you have the basic idea of simple interest as well as you learned some basics in class 8 also about compound interest. Okay, now I'm just going to go into the details of compound interest and simple interest difference. Suppose there is a sum of money, 1000 rupees, the rate of interest is 10% and interest is to be calculated for 2 years. Okay, this is time. Now, uh, simple interest is normal I is equal to PRT by 100 formula. 1000 into 10 into 2 by 100 rupees 200 in the interest. Now interest for each year will be 200 by 2 rupees 100. That means interest of first year and second year is same as rupees 100. Amount is principal plus interest, that is 1000 plus 200, 1200. Now when we come to compound interest 2 years interest is not found at a single time. Each year is taken into account. This is first year's interest, this is first year's principal, and time is 1 year only. So PRT by 100, same formula we are using. For the first year interest is rupees 100. That first year's interest is being added with first year's principal, that is 100 plus 1000 rupees 1100. This is the amount of first year. Now remember, the amount of first year becomes the principal of second year, 1100. Now we are finding the interest of second year. Principal of second year into rate into time. Second year time is 1 year only. And the interest of second year is rupees 110. Now amount 2 is I2 plus P2, interest of second year plus principal of second year, that is 1210. Now if you see 1210 minus 1000 is the original principal, the compound interest becomes 210. Now 210 is the compound interest, simple interest is 200, there is a difference of 10 rupees. Compound interest minus simple interest, difference of 10 rupees. I1, I2 are interest of consecutive years, P1, P2 are principal of consecutive years, and A1, A2 are amounts of consecutive years. But T1 is equal to T2 is 1 year. Total time is 2 years. Now here are some interesting observations which we find. In case of simple interest, interest of each year is equal. I1 equal to I2. Already I have shown here. Now in case of compound interest, interest of each year is added to the principal of each year to get the amount of each year, which is forming the principal of consecutive year. A1 is equal to P1 plus I1. This is forming the principal of second year. We have seen here already. Now third observation is difference between compound interest and simple interest is I2 minus I1. Over here we see CI minus SI is rupees 10. Here I2 is 110, I1 is 100. I2 minus I1 is also 110 minus 100, rupees 10 only. The difference between the interest of consecutive years when calculating compound interest. Difference between principal of 2 consecutive years. This is the fourth observation. Difference between principal of 2 consecutive years is equal to the interest of preceding year. That is P2 minus P1 is I1. You can see here P2 is this thing 1100 and P1 is 1000. 1100 minus 1000 is rupees 100, which is interest of first year, I1. Now the last observation which we are finding out is I2 minus I1. Interest 2 minus interest 1, I2 minus I1, 110 minus 100. That is equal to R percent of P2 minus P1. R percent means rate percent of P2 minus P1. P2 minus P1 is 100. So R percent of 100, that is 10% of 100, which is equal to 10 rupees. That is, and what is 100 over here? 100 is the interest of first year. So R percent of I1, that is what we have written. The difference between the interest of consecutive years is equal to the rate percent of the difference between the principals of 2 consecutive years. Did you get it?